Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you on Bright House Cable Channel 49 every Tuesday night. Our game is to talk about issues that affect the Hispanic community, and we discuss them with Hispanic leaders, but the true Hispanic leaders of our community, not the guys who are just out there for a little bit of money. These people that we bring onto the show are true leaders, and they discuss what's good for the community every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. I'm here with Tony Suarez. We had him here last week, and also James Alfont. Just in case you weren't here last week, we were talking about the redistricting situation in Orange County. Tony is a professor at Barry Law School. He is a former legislator in Florida. He's also a lawyer. And we're here with Jimmy Alfont. He is also an attorney. He's a committeeman, Democratic Party. Tony's Republican. You Republican, Tony? He's a Republican, and we got a Democrat. But one thing that we do have in common is the discussion that we wanted to continue with for the next few minutes about the redistricting that's going on in Orange County. So let's pick up the ball where we left off last week. What did you say that you heard, or did you tell me that the lady who is running against Tony Ortiz said something about Jose Fernandez?
That's why you cannot speak to a reporter. You know, you can't. You know.
That's why you
by the
should
way,
be quiet.
I heard that she blurted out. And what's her name?
no, her name was Vienna.
Vienna. And
By the
Vienna
way,
is running
I
against Tony
only
Ortiz.
heard this. Okay, that I heard that she had made a comment to the Jose Fernandez
during the meeting.
During the meeting.
And this was the redistricting meeting
Right.
in Orange County.
Right.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and the comment was,
That Jose Fernandez sold himself for a plate of rice and beans.
oh my God. I heard that comment too.
Yeah, well, that's like, you know, listen, by the way, I forgot
It's a matter of perspective, though, because I'm sure Jose feels like
he was
he's
protecting
not
the community.
He was, yeah. I'm sure that he feels that he had his side of the fence, and that he wasn't going after a plate of rice and beans. He was going after a Jaguar.
Right.
So but that's the way she put it is a way that's very expressive in our community.
To say that certain things were said during those meetings that were, look, let's be honest. There's a frustration in our community. There's an anger in our community. They really feel insulted that there would be a map that would reduce the influence of Hispanics. You know, if it were left in the same, maybe they would accept that. But go out of your way to dilute the Hispanic vote. I think that has incensed the community, and rightfully so. And I'm happy to see that my community is saying, basta. I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm going to go forward, and if you don't do what is right, I will take you to court again and again and again and again. I will use the U.S. system to protect my rights. And basically, that was one comment. There's been some others that have come that have been stronger, and some that basically, have come from both sides. Even from the committee members, saying questions, to a certain degree. I think they question that you had an agenda, you didn't consider some communities. Look, it's a factor. I have said on one of these, and I know how communities feel about this, and there's certain communities that you just can't, to respect, but. To be quite honest, it's our time. We need our district. We have our district, and we cannot afford to lose our district.
It's our time as long as guys like the two of you stand up to protect the community's interests, because you know and I know, okay, our community has been weak historically in standing up for themselves because of the language barrier, because of the cultural barrier. They've been fully taken advantage of for decades.
Oh, but they believe it. They can't affect change. They have given up. Many of them have just given up. Say, it's not worth fighting anymore. That's why they don't go out to vote. What for? We can't win, and that's the
but
mentality.
That's not the case.
But that's the mentality we have to change. But once they see a district and they see that they can elect their own, I think that mentality.
Well, that's been going on. We've been, like we mentioned last week, we have elected officials being put into position. It hasn't come easy.
No,
it hasn't come easy. But the reality is, the way it's happening is guys like you two guys are fighting the battle because you don't have a political interest. You're making money with your law firm, and you're making money with your law firm, so you're independent.
Yeah, so, but we have a political agenda. Jimmy and I know each other. As long as I've been living here 21 years, I know Jimmy. We've been working together on things, and we've worked against things against each other. But I respect him as a lawyer, and I'm sure he respects me as a lawyer. We have a political agendas, but sometimes those agendas merge. In this particular issue, they actually do merge.
Now, you're
we're-
a Democrat and you're a Republican, and you're fighting a mutual battle right now.
Correct.
Well, but it's because we're Hispanic first, and then Republican, then a Democrat. I mean, and realistically, only a person who's blind, and I know that justice is blind, but I'm not a judge, so I'm not blind, would say they're not trying to screw with our community. They are. And that's what's united us. And that's what I said last week, and I appreciate that Fernandez and Batica, by doing this, have brought us back to the table to talk and unite, because realistically, we know that this is the best for our community. Look, I'm going to say this. Tony and I agree on one thing. We want a seat at the commission. If he wants a Republican runs, he'll campaign for the Republican. If a Democrat runs, I'll campaign for the Democrat, and we'll try to get either Hispanic elected, but it will be an Hispanic.
But you know something, whether it's Democratic or Republican, when you get to the bottom of the food chain, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, because all you want is some work, some food on the table, and some good education for your kids.
Well, everyone.
And Hispanics have been at the bottom of the food chain in the United States
For a long time.
since the beginning, and now we're coming of age.
I like to put politics in the nature of explanation between a mother and a father. Both love the children immensely, but one has one way of raising the child, and the other has the other raising the child. Both are convinced that they're right in the way to raise a child. So I think Republicans and Democrats will look that way. I know that Jimmy has the best interest of the community at heart. I hope he thinks I have the best interest at heart. But we have different ways of approaching it. Just he likes to spend everybody's money, and I like to keep it in my pocket. So other than that,
I like to protect the poor. He likes to protect the rich. It's just, you know, what can I say? I'm for the poor people. He's for the rich people. I don't, you know.
So other than that, we're okay with each other, and then we respect each other, and then we'll sit there and battle. And I think that you have to reach common ground, and that's what the art of politics is about reaching common ground to move forward, and which is it doesn't seem to be happening in our nation today. People don't want to reach common ground. They want to play idealistic games, and the result is dreadlock in Washington and not so much in Tallahassee, because it's all a one-way game over there. Yeah. But if you can reach common ground, as we have reached common ground on this particular issue, that's where you go forward. And I think that's what has to happen.
You know, and you have to understand, this is something that's very important for our community, because it happens every 10 years. If we don't get it right this time, we have to wait another 10 years, and by that time, Tony and I are going to be too old and senile to use us.
Who is the organization who's going to lead the charge legally? Is hopefully who?
Well, there's a group, there's a Puerto Rican Legal Defense Education Fund, which have been in existence since the 1970s.
And who's the president of that?
Cartagena, Jose Cartagena.
Jose Cartagena, he just got appointed.
He just got appointed, from New York, right. Now they've changed their name, they use
Latino Justice
Latino
now.
Justice is the name that they use. I don't know why, but that's what they did. And they're the legal experts that they will do. I'm hoping and praying, if this gets in litigation, that I can be local counsel, because this is the thing I teach at the law school. I love that. I would love to be under this game, but I don't know.
It would be great to have a Republican and Democrat fighting this in federal court.
There you go. It would not be great. That would be great. That would be really good.
That would be really good.
And they're in New York?
They're out of New York, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you visited them?
Oh yeah, their address is 99 Hudson Street. If you want to know, Puerto Rican.
I got my dinner, my annual dinner up in New York at the end of October.
The same building that the NCAP is. Same building.
I'll have to call them. I'll call them and get together with them. If I get up there, I'll express how important this battle is.
Oh, they know. In fact, demographically, the Puerto Rican community has been moving to Central Florida. We're still behind New York City, but we're now the second largest location for Puerto Ricans in the country. They're very interested in looking, and this is an affluent community, because we're coming from New York, we're coming from Chicago, we're coming from Connecticut, coming from Puerto Rico, and it's not like the migration of the 1950s that was going into New York, where it was a poorer community. This is a more affluent middle class community that's moving here. So the dynamic is really different. It's very interesting. There are professors in different universities who are writing about the development of the Hispanic community, Puerto Rican community here in Central Florida. So it's a very interesting. And then I do believe I think you can confirm this, that both parties are very interested that the I-4 corridor from Tampa right to here is where this battle is going to be fought for the state of Florida. Florida is the swing state. We're the swing community within the swing state. And there's going to be a lot of money spent here trying to convince the Hispanic vote where to go.
Well, we at the Hispanic Speak Out TV, that's exactly where we are. I-4 corridor, the 5 counties of the I-4 corridor. We don't reach into Tampa, but we're Central Florida, and we affect.
And look at the heat that Rick Perry's catching for trying to help Mexicans in.
Do you disagree with that?
No, I thought he was great. I think that was a great. I don't think that we should discriminate against those people who were brought to this country without their consent. I mean, they were brought as children,
yeah.
and they're working here, and now they're living here. They're more Americans than they are Mexican, or from wherever that happens. It's not just the Mexican
But are we
problem.
talking about legal or illegal?
Those are illegal. Those are those are undocumented. I hate saying illegal. I don't even like that term. But undocumented
He's talking like a
persons.
Democrat.
He is a Democrat. The thing is that he's
I thought you said you were a Republican.
Well, Rick Perry's a Republican. Look, and he gave in-state tuition to undocumented
Yeah, but
aliens.
Tony-
and he
He's
obligates young ladies to vaccinate.
That's right. He got a little
Which is a very-
he got a little socialist on there on that,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that
so-
one. You know.
Come on, that was far-fetched
That-
too.
that was really,
and the whole game is that you're charging U.S. citizens to go to the school,
Right.
and you're charging non-documented just to make you happy,
Right.
okay? And you're giving it to them for free.
They're giving it
No,
for
no,
free
no. They
in-state tuition.
Okay, so what's in-state tuition?
It's a cheaper.
It's a cheaper.
And how much cheaper? Because I heard on CNN it was up to $100,000.
Yes, it is, because if you're from out of
So
state,
that means that if you're out of state and you're a U.S. citizen, you're paying the 100, and
Right.
if you're not,
You're paying 25.
but
So-
realistically, you can stay in your own state. If anybody stays in their own state, they pay their in-state tuition, and they pay much cheaper than anybody from outside.
But let me
All
tell you
50
something.
states
Let
do
me-
that.
Florida has the same thing.
Don't you think that's kind of like away from the Republican agenda or the Republican concept of immigration and all of that?
Well, okay.
I mean,
I will
don't you-
As a
concede. I will concede.
Don't you think he stepped out of line there as far as the philosophy of the Republican
Yeah,
Party?
if you take Michelle
Let alone the
Bachmann
Tea Party.
and you take Michelle Bachmann and those right wing
No,
nuts,
forget-
you take
forget-
them as
Are
the
you
voice.
calling her right-wing?
You take them as the voice of the
Don't take
Republican
away my
Party.
I'm telling you, he's a closet Democrat.
So if you take them as the voice of the
We'll bring you
Republican,
back.
but I don't
And
think
what
they're the
about-
voice. I think Mitt Romney is the voice. I think Huntsman is the voice. I think Pawlenty is the voice. I think those are the voices of the Republican Party.
Look, let's be honest. The Republican Party's gone so far to the right to this
No, you
point.
see, that's what he wants to say. No, you have something. They put the
Look,
spotlight
McCain,
on the right wing.
McCain 4 years ago said basically, I'm pro immigration reform.
right.
He did, and then he went 4 months ago, 3 months ago, and said that the fires in Arizona were caused by the Mexican and illegal. I mean, just to get votes.
And then,
Come on.
and then he
That's
went out there to the fence saying he had to build a bigger fence.
Yeah.
It's true. That was hypocrisy. That was it.
Completely,
So
and
I'll call
absolute-
it. I'll call it whatever. John McCain was a hypocrite because he took
Okay,
one position
so-
and then switched around, took
Let's
another
get back to
position.
Perry, though. Are you for Perry or against Perry? Are you for Mitt Romney or against Mitt Romney?
I'm more Mitt Romney type guy.
And what about
I like
McCain?
this guy Huntsman.
Huntsman is good too. What do you think of McCain? Kane.
Herman Cain?
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the experience, really. He's nice to talk, but
What
he's a
about
talk show
Christie?
host
What
too.
about Christie out of?
My sister hates him. I don't know. I don't
And
know
your
enough
sister's a
about him.
Republican, by the way. Let's get this clear. His sister was a Republican. Look, I'm going to say this because
He's a very soft Republican. That's
No,
Well,
I am a fiscal conservative, okay? I am a social liberal. I'm a social liberal. I don't care who you're going to bed with. I don't think that's my business. If you're a real libertarian and you really believe in, then you should not be involved in the person's womb, in their bedroom, or anything else.
Let's not talk, forget about it. I'm just talking about giving money, $500 billion to Solange.
We know that.
Pelosi has
That's
some
the
skin in that
Democrats
game.
did that. The Democrats did
Oh,
that.
wait a second. Then we got to talk to him about that.
we
What do
did
you
it.
think of that? What do you think
No,
about
like-
Solange getting
like-
500
like this is
million?
the- like-
And they were in the White House 2 months before saying Solange is totally solvent. We're going to have 1,100 jobs. And 8 weeks later, they claimed they filed bankruptcy. And then it turns out that Pelosi's family is involved as investors in
And they
Solange.
lost their shirt. Look, it's not the
They
first.
should have lost their shirt. That's like, Jesus
Look, it's not the
Christ.
first time. Look, the
No,
first.
we lost our shirt because it was our money that we gave to them.
Well, the
Okay.
500
come on.
million.
Yeah.
But
Come on.
Pelosi put some money in there.
I hate to say that's a
But don't
piece.
you think that's a major conflict of interest? Or
No, it isn't.
Moral or ethically? How about,
No, it isn't.
all right, it's
What
not
about
illegal.
Enron? Who wasn't Bush involved with Enron? And that was not.
Listen, I'm still waiting for people to go to jail on all this stuff. No matter, going back to Enron, going back to Fannie Mae, going
The
back
Bush were involved in the credit and loan
All right,
things.
so we have a class of society that can orchestrate taxpayer money for their own benefit, okay? And that's an elite class of society.
And that's called
take the
Republicans and
money
Democrats.
From the poor, from the taxpayers, in order to fund their private gains.
Come on. That's been done by both parties. I hate to say this. If you're really going to say, I'm a
Do
fiscal
you agree with
conservative.
that?
Yeah, both parties are. Both of them. Both parties only care about maintaining power.
Power.
That's
Exactly.
all they really care about. Which is why we're on agreement on maintaining power for the Hispanic community.
Why don't you
Because the
guys
truth
get
is,
together and start
both.
another
We're
political
going to start a
party?
third party. You're going to.
No,
Start
no,
a
no,
party
no.
that kind of like finds a new method. You're
Look.
both lawyers. You can probably do it
Look,
with a little bit of effort.
You want me to be?
Nobody likes lawyers.
Let's be historically correct. If
Good
Ron-
lawyers that are honest, they're rare. Okay, so those lawyers you got.
Well, you have to here. But if Ronald Reagan was alive today, I love it because I go to the Ronald Reagan library. Ronald Reagan protected and defended Social Security with tooth and nail. He worked it with Tip O'Neill, and he to save it because he believed in it. He raised taxes 3 times. As the governor of California, he negotiated with unions. He believed in going both ways. Basically,
He saved the immigrants and gave an amnesty.
he got the amnesty to the immigrants. And let's go one further.
And he was a good Republican, see?
Yeah, whatever. Today, if he went with that agenda in front of the Republican Party, he would be laughed at.
He would be thrown out.
He would thrown out. Look, what's sad is that.
But you know something? The country wasn't that bad off. We didn't have $15 trillion debt at that time, and that makes a big difference. I think Americans are very, very generous generally as a way of life. They're very generous people. But when their back is up against the wall and you got unemployment and people are marching, I mean, people are marching in this country, in Wall Street, in downtown Lynn, they're marching in LA, they're marching all over the country against corporate greed, against political greed. We've never had that in this country before.
Well, yes, we did during the
Come on.
60s.
Sure.
No, the 60s
remember-
was
you forgot
different.
Vietnam and
That
all
was
that?
Vietnam. Okay, that was against
and
the
racism.
war. But it wasn't against the
Civil
economic.
rights.
Civil rights.
It
Civil
wasn't
rights.
against the economic philosophy of the country.
No,
So
but
it's different.
But
It's
but the
different.
same. But
One
same.
is for money.
I
and
don't
one
know.
was for
Wasn't
political
it
philosophy.
Jane Fonda called it commie and everything else? I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because-
the Cold War created a lot of it. Was economic. There was a force
Let
of
me-
people
let me
here who
ask
were
you
against
something.
economic policy. in America.
Why aren't Democrats and Republicans coming to a final conclusion on the problem of immigration that's so easy to solve? This is an issue that's easy to solve.
Because
Why
it's,
cannot they-
it's a political hot potato that we didn't want to say it. Look,
It's always how you present some. You're a lawyer. It's how you present your case.
yeah, but helping out Hispanics in documents is not something that is appeasable. Look, right now, you have to go in front of the Republican Party, show how to the right you are on this issue. As a matter of fact, Perry is basically going to lose this because he's done one thing pro illegal immigrants. One thing. That's good enough to kill him. Mitt
But
Romney.
that's a big thing.
It also could have something to do with his IQ.
Well, yeah.
What are you talking about?
You see, and he's the Republican who's saying that he has a law.
There are
If I
some,
said that,
there are
I would
some
be-
people who are saying that maybe there were a couple of lights out.
That,
During the debate, he must have had at least one out.
Yeah.
Because he lost the debate. You know, he really did. Not that Romney won the debate. Romney won the debate by default of Perry losing it.
by Perry.
Not because Romney won the debate.
Well, and I hate to say this, the sad part is that I'm going to say something that most of you do not want to say, but since I'm the Democrat, I can say it. Mitt Romney cannot win the Republican nomination.
Okay, so you think?
You know,
Perry's
you
gonna take
said that about Mark Rubio and Mel Martinez. Both are Republicans. Both who ran statewide,
I never said
and
that-
they
that-
won.
that Martinez could not
okay,
win.
The Hispanics, you can win. You say because you see, the Democrats want to paint the picture, and if they say enough,
But this has
you know,
nothing
like
to do
Goebbels,
It has nothing-
in World
it
War
has
II.
nothing to
If
do
you
about
say it
being
enough,
Hispanic.
people will
It
believe
has to
it.
do with the fact that he's a Mormon, and that the Republican Party is still controlled by the Christian right.
You know-
and I hate to
How
say
come
it.
he keeps winning polls? He's winning polls, and he's still on the top of the polls.
And how come he lost the last time around? Same reason. And how come he has
Because he
polls?
was running against John McCain, who happens to be a war hero and was a great American, had a great record.
And had a great record of being a liberal compared to many people. The truth of the matter.
Hey, and he won, and McCain won
Okay.
the nomination, even though he's pro-immigration,
Okay.
and sponsored a bill with Kennedy.
Who won in Florida?
Huh?
And the straw poll that you went to, who won in Florida?
Herman Cain,
And who won in Iowa?
Bachman.
Which one did he win? He's ahead in the polls.
He's in the polls.
But he can't win.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
He can't win it.
The proof is in the pudding. We're gonna, it changes every week. Every time something happens, it
And
changes.
if Christie comes in, he's down again. Simple
Yeah,
as that.
it changes every week.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that he came in fourth in Iowa.
What do you think of Rubio? You think Rubio is going to be the vice president?
No.
You don't think Rubio? A lot of people say Rubio is going to be like the major push.
I think
for Hispanics in the
I
country.
think he could be. I don't know if he feels like he's ready, but again, he's about as much experience now as Obama had when he was running for president. So Rubio, as a vice president candidate, is very popular because first he would bring the Hispanic vote. Secondly, he brings Florida, and which is Florida being a swing state. So I think anybody would like to have Rubio's bright, intelligent, good-looking guy. And
I'm not sure that he would bring.
brings equalities.
I'm not sure that he would bring the Hispanic vote, but he would bring Florida. I'll concede that.
He'll bring Florida.
I don't
now,
think
when
he'll
you
bring the
say he
Hispanic
won't bring
vote.
the Hispanic vote, are you saying ultra-liberal Democrats won't vote for him?
No.
Or it's better to have a Hispanic in the game than no
No,
Hispanic?
that's
in
what
the
he's saying. Ultra-liberal Hispanics will not vote for him. That's all.
No. Look. Come on. There's a couple of things that we need to be honest about politics. Still, there's a division between our races.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's be blunt about that one. He's Cuban, and the majority here are Puerto Rican. So it
The
depends.
majority in
Central
Florida.
But we're talking about a national campaign.
The national campaign is Mexican.
Okay?
They'll vote for him. You know what? The Hispanics will vote for him.
It's all how you sell it.
So how you sell it? When he comes out with all that Spanish and he
That
starts
his
talking
mother
about
was
his
Mexican
mother and
he's
his,
eating tacos.
people will love it. People will love it.
Don't
I
get
think he's
it.
a natural, and whether he feels he's up to it at this point, he may take the call because he's just
But
really a great choice.
what better way to fall into leadership than to be next to where it's all happening?
Absolutely.
Well,
What a learning
It
experience.
would be a great. I'm not sure.
Look
what-
how much Joe has grown since he's been vice president.
Yeah, he's grown immensely. He's gonna be here the 28th.
Is he?
Oh yeah,
Well, I don't know if this show is going to air after. When is Obama coming here?
the 11th.
The 11th. I think this show is going to air. Might air before that. I'm not sure.
But yeah, it's a matter of.
Did
look,
you get invited to the Obama thing?
No, I have not been invited to the Obama thing. But if I were invited, I would go. He's my president. I've said this many times. He is my president. This is my country. I want Obama to succeed because if Obama succeeds, we as a country succeed. I am not interested in pushing the Republican agenda at the expense of the American agenda.
What do you think is the big issue right now with employment? What is happening to the United States to prevent us from reaching our employment goals? We've spent a ton of money, okay? I mean, there was one thing where they said that they spent $40 million per job on 1,100 jobs. And they spent, $230 billion, and it cost like, $40 million to accomplish that job.
Right.
And then they're talking about the Canada pipeline, okay, which is creating 13,000 jobs, and the government didn't put a penny into that. It was all private sector money.
Well,
How do you feel about that? You're a Democrat. What do you think about the whole idea of government trying to orchestrate the private sector?
It always has done it. It's not nothing new. It's not something that's been created. Look, and we had in the 70s a program that was done by Republicans and Democrats, which was called CETA, which was Comprehensive Employment Training Act, and it succeeded.
Oh my God.
And it
Wait a
succeeded
second.
because I'm a product of it. So before people,
Well, she seen it for you, but I remember working in the district attorney's office, having some CETA employees, and they sat around doing nothing all day long.
Because you let them do nothing. I worked at Legal Aid under CETA, and I was forced to work. The truth of the matter is, government should get involved, and government has a role in it. But the truth of the matter is that we, as Democrats, have done a poor job. First of all, 1/3 of the stimulus was tax cuts, okay? It was tax cuts. The other third went to repairing bridges, and the other third went to maintain teachers and maintain...
And a part of it went to Solandra.
not even a 0.5% of that went to cilantro. So you're not even good in your math. But
No, it's okay, 500 million, you should have said it in a different way.
Yeah.
It's still $535 million.
yeah, and I can tell you contractors of the defense energy
No,
and
there's
other
no
places
question. There's
that,
no
are
question.
taking our money too.
And they just gave another $300 million to another company down in Harry Reid's area.
Right.
So-
I wonder if Harry Reid knows part of that, you know?
He might. And it's just like everybody makes
Just
money.
like
off-
Halliburton.
Halliburton, let's not even start there, because if we start with Halliburton, they're still making money in Iraq and Afghanistan, like left and right. And Mr. Cheney still has money invested. But that's another story. But if we really decide to do something about this, yes. Reality is, this is like the old saying in Puerto Rico: if you don't do anything, you're damned. If you do something, you're even worse. Look, what was the criticism before? He's doing nothing. He needs to lead. He needs to say, come out with a package. He comes out with a package. It's stupid. What's your package? I don't have one, but his is stupid. You know, and that's the sad part that
Herman Cain has a package.
yeah, a package of
999.
yeah. Do you believe in the fair tax?
Yeah, I believe in the fair tax. I do. I believe in the fair tax.
I don't.
I mean, I wouldn't mind the fair tax simply to eliminate the IRS.
We would save about
the-
$1 billion trillion there if we just get rid of the
Gestapo of the
IRS.
United States is the IRS. You know, they have tremendous power over the people of the United States.
The problem with the 999, I've sat down with a couple of friends of mine who are economists and much smarter than me. Look, you're talking a 9% sales tax federal, plus 7% of the state of Florida, that's 16. You're talking about 9% of your total income. Plus you're talking about 9% of, when you add it up, you're back to your 30s. Bingo, people.
But even if you're back to your 30s, what you're doing is you're eliminating a tremendous amount of overhead in the government.
Yeah.
Because everything is set up.
And that would mean union
No.
jobs for government employees, and God forbid you should do that.
Yeah.
Look, and that's not true, because with the 999, who do you think is going to be collecting the 18%? It's the IRS.
Yeah.
You're not
Oh,
eliminating
but
it.
it won't be as big, because they won't have to do all those tax returns and what. So
Oh, yes, you
they
would.
cut it,
Yes,
they
you
cut it
would.
down.
The 9%, you have to do a tax return for the 9%. Sorry, that's why I'm like, people, are you that stupid that you don't realize?
We're going to check that out on the 9th, because we'll find
But
out.
check it out. Who's going to collect the 9%?
You got to get that
No,
Herman
you have
Cain
to have-
representative
yeah,
over here.
I understand you have to have a mechanism to collect it, but it won't be so complicated. I mean, you know, you have to go, it's just horrific. I don't know, I think the tax code is 180,000 pages.
Oh yeah, it fills his desk.
Yeah, it does. And it's been created to protect the rich and the powerful. Look, even Warren Buffett, who said it very honestly, said, we get taxed at a different level. We pay less taxes than your middle class. The middle class has been screwed, and by this 999, look, what's going to happen? The rich
But the
people are
middle
going
class always gets screwed.
The rich people are going to go to Canada, they're going to go to Puerto Rico, they're going to go to other places, they're going to buy their stuff, they're going to bring it in here, they're not going to pay taxes on it, they're going to go on the internet and buy everything on the internet, and the poor person who has to go to the supermarket is the one who's going to end up paying for this. Realistically, it's nothing more than a bull thing to make us believe that it's going to benefit us. Look, I hate to say it, we just cut taxes in this country. To everybody.
Listen, I hate to cut you off, but we're just out of time again. We had a good time this time. This is Danny Ramos on Hispanic Speak Out. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, James. It's been spirited, and you know, we always enjoy doing that and informing the community. This is Hispanic Speak Out TV on Channel 49. We'll see you next Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to get your Hispanic license plate down at the tag offices, and look at our website, www.hispanicachievers.org. We will see you next week. Thank you, fellas.